Indies, and what a match it is going to be. A tremendous crowd in, wonderful tension and atmosphere here at the Gabba today. A crowd of around about 20 to 22,000, even before a ball was bowled. The points table in the Benson Hedges World Series Cup: West Indies have 6, Australia 2, Sri Lanka none, and Australia desperate for 2 points today to stop West Indies going to too big a lead. The team changes for today's match. Desmond Haynes, after that leg injury suffered in Hobart, comes back into the side. Thelston Payne goes out. And for Australia, Jeff Lawson comes in, and so too Steve Rickson, who's replacing Wayne Phillips. And Jeffrey Lawson comes back into the side for Carl Rackham. And the teams: Australia, Alan Border, the skipper, and Rodney Hogg, vice-captain. Then Wood, Hilditch, Vessels, Boone, O'Donnell, a young all-rounder from Melbourne, Rickson, Bennett, Lawson, McDermott, and Greg Ritchie once again is 12th man for Australia. The West Indians, with Clive Lloyd skippering and Viv Richards, the vice-captain, have Desmond
Graham with this ball swinging down the leg side.
All right, guys, this is an all cricket game. Australia versus West Indies in 1984. So this is an all game. This is when West Indies was. West Indies, guys. Yes, let's go.
Confident.
Again, the West Indies have lost 2 early wickets in this.
Welcome to the highlights of the Benson Hedges World Series Cup clash at the Gabba, Australia and the West Indies, and what a match it is going to be. A tremendous crowd in, wonderful tension and atmosphere here at the Gabba today. A crowd of around about 20 to 22,000, even before a ball was bowled. The points table in the Benson Hedges World Series Cup: West Indies have 6, Australia 2, Sri Lanka none, and Australia desperate for 2 points today to stop West Indies going to too big a lead. The team changes for today's match. Desmond Haynes, after that leg injury suffered in Hobart, comes back into the side. Thelston Payne goes out. And for Australia, Jeff Lawson comes in, and so too Steve Rickson, who's replacing Wayne Phillips. And Jeffrey Lawson comes back into the side for Carl Rackham. And the teams: Australia, Alan Border, the skipper, and Rodney Hogg, vice-captain. Then Wood, Hilditch, Vessels, Boone, O'Donnell, a young all-rounder from Melbourne, Rickson, Bennett, Lawson, McDermott, and Greg Ritchie once again is 12th man for Australia. The West Indians, with Clive Lloyd skippering and Viv Richards, the vice-captain, have Desmond Haynes and Richie Richardson, Larry Gomes, then Logie Dujon, Marshall, Holding, Garner, Davis, and Roger Harper is 12th man. There's a buzz around the ground with the first ball of the day. It's bowled by Marshall. Wood is taking strike, and your commentators Ian Chappell and Bill Lowry.
And it's Malcolm Marshall coming from Culture Street end.
Quite a strong appeal there from Malcolm Marshall and the wicket-keeper. But umpire Stephen Randall absolutely unmoved.
Very nervous Graham with this ball swinging down the leg side. Confident appeal from in front of the wicket, not a lot of support from behind.
Finds the edge, and the first runs for Australia this morning coming to Hilditch.
The gates were opened at 7:30 this morning. Big crowd here at the Gabba.
The West Indies regarded as very important to stop as many runs as possible in those first 15 overs. Taking the edge and flying down to third man, but short of Michael Holding. That ball really bouncing from Malcolm Marshall. Oh, and that's a brilliant delivery. Beats Wood and the keeper once again. Joel Garner did that to Jeffrey Dujon yesterday. That's done him again. Oh, that's a good delivery. It's again, it lands safe though, and Malcolm Marshall certainly isn't having a lot of luck. He's letting go with some very nasty deliveries. Hilditch is in a bit of trouble, I think. Go on, that's a good delivery. But still Marshall is out of luck. When he finds the edge, it carries over the top of the slips. And beating the outside edge on that occasion with a magnificent delivery. Yell of catch him, but it goes wide of the man at backward square leg and also beats Michael Holding at fine leg. That's the first boundary from the bat this morning. None for 21. And one in the pit of the stomach. Could be trouble. Logie coming in very quickly there from point.
This is when cricket was cricket, guys.
What a really impressive work by Gus Logie. He's like a whippet. In he comes. It's going to be very, very close. Where's Graham Wood?
Oh!
Good decision.
Oh, that was close. Yo.
Richards. Oh, and if he'd hit him, it was trouble. But instead, 4 overthrows for Australia. So a quick 5 there to Andrew Hilditch, but perhaps a little fortunate.
That was his score, but it was a lot of pressure doing it.
Joel Garner.
That's a lovely shot. That's the best shot we've seen so far. He really got into that very quickly, middle of the bat, and put it away for 4. Squared him right up. Cry of anguish from Wood. He was in the wrong position for the shot. They'd run across it, trying to play it on the onside.
Ooh.
Well placed, and it could go. It does, in fact, go all the way. Well played. Didn't look from the time it left the bat that it would have gone to the boundary, but it was so well placed, timed, that it got all the way. Aussie. Well, that's a very confident appeal down the leg side. There was some noise. Dujon reckoned it was that. Umpire Randall reckoned it was not.
Difficult for the umpire to pick up because he would have been unsighted. He probably wouldn't have seen that contact. Seemed to be a little bit of noise there on our replay also. Dujon was extremely confident. None for 49.
Oh, wow.
And that's gone. So Hilditch goes.
Winton Davis.
By Joel Garner. Usual, you find Garner there. Davis picks up a wicket. And if it was a mistake by umpire Randall, the last over, and there was that confident appeal down the leg side, it hasn't cost the West Indies any.
Just the one slip, and Andrew Hilditch picked him out. And a good grab at first slip by Garner, going into those big hands of his, and good bowling by Winston Davis, picking up the wicket of Andrew Hilditch for 19 in Australia in the 16th over, 1 for 49.
Michael Holding bowls now to Vessels.
It's well played. He's got that one away nicely, square of the wicket. So Vessels now off the mark. Oh, well bowled. That one did swing a bit. Nicely played too by Wood. Straight down the ground. Haynes will cut it off down a deep mid-off. That is lovely cricket there. A well pitched up delivery that swung a little bit. Wood allowed it to come right up to him before driving it down the ground. Oh, he's dropped him. Well, that would have been a good catch. It was played away down towards third man. Wood opening the face of the bat. A big deflection. And Jeffrey Dujon diving away, got a hand to it, but couldn't make a catch. So with the score on 1 for 75, Clive Lloyd has decided it's time to bring Viv Richards into the attack. They'll spend a bit of time in the field here, but it's pretty important they get it right. And it's going to be very interesting to see now how these Australians go about dealing with Vivian Richards. And there's a big appeal there for caught behind. He's gone. Wood out straight away off the bowling of Vivian Richards. A good catch that by Dujon. He was trying to run it away down to third man, I think. Got a big edge and was immediately given out by Steve Randall.
Yes, Wood there, finding that ball just holding its own outside the off stump, looking for that deflection through the slipped area, and only succeeding in getting a top edge to the ball, and it went straight into the hands, slotted into the hands of Geoffrey Dujon. Good catch, not a big deflection. The second Australian wicket down for 77, Wood out for 38.
A certain amount of pain attached to that shot by Alan Border. Just think how much worse it would have been if he'd been hit by Michael Holding or Joel Garner.
And Lloyd is giving him the count. He's put him down for the compulsory 8 count.
Great fielding from the old boy. Perhaps not so much of the old boy. That's beautifully placed. That's where they won't want to bowl to Kepler Vessels. You can bet your life Lloyd has told Winston Davis not to bowl anything there.
Two for 90. Malcolm Marshall at deep mid on, misfields. And Vessels takes the opportunity for an extra run.
Clive Lloyd. Oh, yes. Well, he might be 40 years of age, but it doesn't stop him pulling off one of the better run-outs we're likely to see this summer. Took him a moment or two to get started. When he did, he was really motoring, and Border knew he was in trouble there. That was confirmed for him just a second or so later.
It's 3 for 97. Vessels 25, Boone on 4. Australia 3 for 107.
LBW, and Vivian Richards has struck again. David Boone has gone, and I suspect that might have been his little swinger, the quicker ball, just giving the batsman the chance to go for the pull, and it hurries on. And that is absolutely plumb. It would have struck middle stump, about an inch below the black markings on the stump there. Boone out for 4, beaten by Richards. Slightly quicker delivery that hurried on. 4 for 107. Quite a task for him, 4 for 107 in the 31st over.
Harry Gomes on the wicket. This is a marvellous all-round cricketer, Viv Richards. Well, what a magnificent catch. It was a good piece of fielding by Roger Harper. Just have a look at Vivian Richards. That was really fired in, going 100 miles an hour. Well, a baseballer would be delighted with that if he had a glove on.
Couple of Vessels on strike on 28. It's away nicely. Richards the fieldsman. 22 overs bowled as 4 for 115.
Into his 8th over, 2 for 24.
Simon O'Donnell trying to hit down the ground, succeeds. Going for the second. Gomes the fieldsman, bad throw. 5 wide, backs up. They have to put some pressure on the West Indian fieldsman. Gets it to mid-wicket. Richardson, the fieldsman.
Always a tough customer to try and get runs off, but
And Simon O'Donnell gets that. The top edge down to Gomes. Going for the second. Throws good, be close. Big striding young man just made it. Dujon not really in the game there for a second. Good return from Gomes.
Barry Gomes was probably the weakest arm in the West Indies lineup than anyone else. Simon O'Donnell probably would have been on his way back, just making his ground.
40 overs completed. Changed in the commentary team. It's Tony Gregg and Tony Cozy.
Thanks, Paul. The Australians have got themselves into a little bit of a hole here. 150. We say one short of 150. Well, that's away through the field. Down to the third man boundary for 4 of Richards. Help things a little bit. But with 10 overs to go, they really need to score another 100 runs to be in the hunt in this game. It's the first boundary for 17 overs.
And that's what they need now. Plenty of boundaries.
He's out. Hit it straight to extra cover. Gus Logie fielding there. Makes the catch. That was hit very firmly by Vessels. He's very good in that area. And it was right off the middle of the bat, but straight to the field.
He really cracked that. Hit it very hard indeed, but straight to Logie. And it knocked the little fellow over. And Richards very pleased with the wicket.
It's a good catch by Logie. He's knocked right over there. Vessels on his way. 5 for 153.
Here's Garner now bowling to O'Donnell.
It's nicely played. He'll be looking for the second here. Gomes' arm's not that good. He's coming back. And he'll get back quite comfortably.
Marshall to Rickson.
Oh, there's a terrible mix-up here. If Lloyd hits, he's out. And he's done it again. What a fieldsman. He doesn't often miss those stumps. That's twice today that Lloyd has achieved direct hits. And as a result of that mix-up, Simon O'Donnell is outrun out.
Second time today for the Super Cat. Turning the hands of the clock back about 15 years when he was one of the most accurate throwers in the game, but he still is. Very close indeed, but O'Donnell not quite getting home.
So 6 for 160. Murray Bennett. Sent back straight away, and again the stump's hit, this time by Logie.
Well, this is madness by the Australians. Simon O'Donnell was going so well, there was no necessity at all for him to be run out as it was for the sake of a single, and still plenty of overs remaining. He's almost run out first ball.
Oh, and Rickson's coming. There's a big no. This is out by miles. Yes, he is. Well, there's never any doubt about the fact that one of these two are going to run themselves out. And on that occasion, Rickson deciding to run, despite the fact that Bennett was stuck to the crease down the other end. What a terrible mix-up.
This is very bad cricket by the Australians. In the past 2 or 3 overs, there's been all sorts of confusion. Yes, no, and it wasn't a good return this time by Lloyd. Luckily, the man he was returning to had an arm about 3 miles long and could haul it back in. So 7 for 162.
And This is the 45th over. If they go, and if he hits, this will be close. Oh, that would have been out. Well, that would have been the 4th. I reckon he was a yard out of his ground as the stumps just missed. Other ball from Lloyd.
Well, he's hit 2 previous ones. Didn't have quite as long a look this time as he had on the 2 previous occasions. And he missed, although he didn't miss by much. Lawson just managed to get home.
Nice shot. Beautiful shot by Lawson. Garner hangs his head. He obviously didn't want to bowl it outside off stump and got away, but it was a beautifully placed shot by Lawson. No one covering the point boundary, and so he gets 4. Oh, and that one's in the air and it's caught. Obviously it didn't come off the bat, off the arm, but he's given him out. Got the feeling the finger came up there, unless he was making a gesture of some other sort. No, he's been given out. Lawson obviously in a lot of agony there, the ball having hit him on the arm. And they did turn for the single. Have a look at it.
Well, where did it come from? It was a bloody good catch by Dujon. Typical athleticism by Dujon, flying through the air. Rarely took off. Now, where did that come from? Lawson suggested it hit the forearm. He's rubbing it as he comes in, and look at that catch by Dujon. Was in the air for a long time, but he had to change his direction and leap to get it. 8 for 171.
Marshall to Murray Bennett.
Yes, he's got him. Nicely taken. A little nod of the head there from Steve Randall, who's down at the Stanley Street end. He watched the ball and was taken just above the ground by Gus Logie.
Well, what a good return it has been for little Gus Logie to the international scene. He is a superb fielder, and coming forward and just taking that ball inches from the ground. The nod of the head from umpire Steve Randall. Hasn't been in the big time for some time, Logie. Coming back with 2 catches now. Bennett out for 3. It's 9 for 173.
Malcolm Marshall to McDermott.
Lloyd dives and doesn't quite get there. Haynes comes around from mid-off and they collect 2. Oh, he did well there. He backed away, and he's got that away down to the deep extra cover boundary. Pretty good shot for number 10. McDermott backing away slightly. The ball fired in very full, and at the end he did well. Well, that's well hit, straight down the ground. Big bounce there, and cut off by Michael Holding. So 1 to go now in this Australian innings. 191 on the board.
That's what's been needed, straight hitting.
They're going to run. It's down to Joel Garner. Will there be another run out? Yes. There is. Well, they had to run for that one. It was the last ball of the innings, and so McDermott run out, trying to gather for Australia just one more desperate run. Clive Lloyd would be very happy with the way things have gone for the West Indies. It really has been a very polished performance by them in the field.
Well, the Australians really will have to bowl and feel like tigers if they're to get out of that. 191 is not much of a target. What a great performance by the West Indians. That's one of the best efforts I've ever seen from a team using their out cricket in limited overs cricket. 191 for Australia. Top score, Kepler Vessels, 47 from 75 balls. Nowhere near scoring a run off every ball faced. 25 to Simon O'Donnell, who's shaping all right as the all-rounder in the side. 38 to Graham Wood and 19 to Hilditch. They put on 49 for the first wicket, but after that it was only Vessels and O'Donnell, 46 from 10 overs, who were able to push the game away from the West Indians. The bowling figures for the West Indies: Marshall 1 for 42, Garner won for 33, Holding none for 31. Davis won for 37, bowled pretty well today, and so too did Richards in his new style, alternating swing with spin. 3 for 38 in 10 overs and no maiden, and 3 run-outs there, or 3 assisting run-outs to Clive Lloyd. We pick up the West Indian run chase now. In the very first over, Jeff Lawson is bowling to Desmond Haynes. No runs on the board at this moment.
Well, Haynes off the mark. That one going down towards the square leg boundary. They'll probably go for 3. Richie Richardson very quick between the wickets. Yes, Desmond Haynes off the mark, and he's a pretty useful player. He scored against Australia in one-day cricket 400s out of the 5 most recent matches. He's hit that one down to square leg, and Hogg getting himself in a terrible tangle there. Perhaps he should have taken a punt and come forward and tried and bait the catch. Let's have another look at it. Perhaps that's a little severe.
I think a bit of a tough man, Tony. That one was clipped away, and Rodney Hogg caught a little bit in 2 minds. Had a few problems probably picking it up, because that went like a rocket down there.
And that's hit away beautifully. It's a short, wide ball. And Desmond Haynes giving it some treatment just outside off stump there. Not a very good ball from Lawson. It's in the air, but it's going down to third man, and nicely cut off down there. Hilditch, the fielder, and what good fielding it was. Oh, well, Lawson has just taken one on the shin there as the ball was thrown down the wicket. I think he was trying, that's Rickson, trying to catch Haynes unawares down that end. All he did was do some damage to the shins of Lawson. Definitely some inconsistency in terms of the bounce out there at the moment, especially from Hogg's end. It's in the air, just wide of the slip cordon and down for 4. Well, that's what happens when you really go after them. Perhaps 4th slip may have caught that. It's not often in one-day cricket you get a 4th slip. But an orthodox nick there from an attempted drive. Oh, and again through the slip cordon. This time, I think Boone may just have got a finger to it. It was a little bit late going. It was quite wide and went very quickly.
Boundary seeming to come thick and fast through that slip order, but David Boone just a little slow then, getting across to that.
All right, guys. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you guys. Good night.
Oh, well played. He has smashed that through the gap.